Well, now to growing concerns in the global war on terror after this news today. The White House is saying it has no plans to go back on its decision to hand over dozens of Guantanamo Bay detainees to authorities in Yemen. This despite the elevated terror alert in the region right now. Our national security correspondent Jennifer Griffin is live from the Pentagon with the latest on this. So Jennifer, what else are you hearing from the White House on this topic?
Well, Jenna, yesterday the State Department was asked about whether the president would be reconsidering that announcement that he made in May at the National Defense University in the speech that he gave there, in which he talked about reversing what had been a moratorium on the release of Yemeni prisoners from Gitmo back to Yemen, prisoners that had been cleared. And what we understand is that the White House and the president still plans to lift that moratorium and allow those detainees from Gitmo to go back to Yemen, despite what's going on right now.
Today, I once again call on Congress to lift the restrictions on detainee transfers from Gitmo. I am lifting the moratorium on detainee transfers to Yemen so we can review them on a case-by-case basis.
Well, I think the lifting of the moratorium reflects a change in policy that reflects also changes in Yemen.
That was Jay Carney after the president met with the Yemeni president at the White House on August 1st, Jenna.
What about the Gitmo detainees that have already been released? What have we seen them do after their release?
Well, what's interesting, Jenna, is the genesis for this AQAP, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, that we've heard so much about in recent days, really goes back to a prison break in Yemen in February of 2006. That's when Nasser al-Wuhayshi, who had been bin Laden's secretary and whose recent communications with Ayman Zawahiri spurred the closure of 19 embassies, he and 22 al-Qaeda suspects tunneled their way out of a maximum security prison in the capital Yemen, in Sana'a. They then popped up in a mosque and teamed up in 2009 with two very high-profile Gitmo detainees who had been released to Saudi Arabia from Guantanamo Bay. Here's AQAP expert Gregory Johnson.
A handful of former Guantanamo Bay detainees, primarily Saudi citizens, made their way across the border into Yemen, and they joined Al-Qaeda in Yemen. And it was that merger between people, former Guantanamo Bay detainees from Saudi Arabia, and the Al-Qaeda escapees in Yemen that really formed Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, the group that announced itself in January of 2009. And that's the group that we know today as Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula.
That's what makes this decision by the White House so interesting in terms of lifting the moratorium to return Gitmo detainees to Yemen in the coming months.
Jennifer Griffin, thank you.